Good morning. I'm John Alexander. I'm a U.S. Navy officer, go Navy, but more importantly for today, I am the co-founder of XChange Post, the easy way to borrow. XChange Post was built from the ground up to be the world's first ever sharing marketplace. And in a few minutes, you're going to see how a small, veteran-owned startup is seeking to change the face of commerce. So why did we want to build XChange Post? The fact is, Americans waste billions of dollars each year purchasing tools and equipment that they're only used once or twice. The fact is, the average tool sits idle for 99% of its life, becoming a wasted resource. We're seeking to change this. So the real problem is, right now, there is no easy way to borrow goods. So we built XChange Post, a web and mobile platform that allows individuals to rent and post items for rent and have items delivered to their doorstep. We get our items from individuals like you, as well as small businesses that have items that are currently underutilized. So what does our product look like? This is an actual screenshot from our working application. We were self-funded. We developed this in the last 6 months. I'm really excited about it. We've got a strong team. But what does it do? You simply log on, look for the item you want to rent, confirm your date and delivery time, and it'll be delivered to your doorstep. How do we make money? We use a transaction fee model. Simply, every time a rental is completed on XChange Post, we get a portion of the proceeds. In the future, we recognize that we can gain additional revenue from insurance packages as well as affiliate sales. We're disrupting some really big markets, including the $403 billion hardware industry and the $50 billion rental industry.
But the most exciting part is we're creating our own marketplace. Now, overseas, across the pond in Europe, there's been a few companies that have had a similar idea. PureBee, which has over $1 billion in their current inventory, as well as Fat Llama. These are listing sites, different from XChange Post, where we walk you through the process cradle to grave. We have a lot of competition, because currently most of our users do get their items by purchasing through traditional retail, and some do rent from local businesses. Where we really differentiate ourselves is we are the most convenient platform out there for somebody who wants to rent a tool or piece of equipment. We've got a lot of competitive advantages. One of those is timing. Right now, the peer-to-peer market is growing faster than ever. We're also first to market here in America, and our value proposition helps out both sides of the market. We're able to leverage our technology and disrupt some major marketplaces. We offer our users convenience that others don't, and most importantly, compared to other retail industries, rental industries, we don't manage any inventory. I would be remiss to say, though, if I didn't mention that my biggest competitive advantage is this team right here. Myself, a U.S. Navy officer, 10 years active experience. My co-founder, William Jackson, 20 years Navy retired, expert in human resources. Our developer, Fred Kessler, U.S. Army and our full stack developer, as well as Connor Collette. This man is a marketing genius, and he's also got more energy than me, so get ready. Our growth strategy comes at a three-pronged attack. We plan to educate, partner, and leverage. By utilizing existing mediums where our customers already exist, such as Nextdoor, we plan on getting our message out faster and scaling rapidly across the nation. In conclusion, XChange Post realized that in order to be a successful business, we have to create value. But today, we're looking for people and investors that may be able to help us create value. Like I mentioned earlier, we're completely self-funded. We've developed our app, as well as gotten our offices and warehousing space, and purchased a small amount of inventory to get us kickstarted. We've done that by ourselves, but now we're raising our seed round, and we're seeking $3 million in capital to spread the first and only sharing economy throughout our nation. Thank you for your time. Go Navy.
Good presentation, thank you for all that, and looks like you do have a good team, strong, you all are cohesive it looks like, so compliments on that. Question on if you do not own the equipment and you're doing the platform, and who delivers it to the door, who takes the risk, and I assume you're the one that is collecting the funds and dispersing it back. They aren't going around you. So if you can address those so I can better understand your offering.
So the first thing I think is important to clarify is yes, we do all of the processing. So that allows us to do we're able to secure that transaction, unlike other listing platforms out there. How we are not the deliverers on a national scale. On the national scale, it's individuals, contractors that have that equipment that are voluntarily able to deliver. In our app, though, we have a function where you're either able to select delivery or pickup. And when it comes to the security of the transaction, we actually decided not to reinvent the wheel. We do much of the same functions as you would if you were renting a car. So there's a checkout feature or individual item turnover tracking where each item in our system has an individual QR code, and it takes the owner who is using it or the person renting it to check it out from each other to verify that that asset has been turned over in proper condition, as well as take pictures, very similar to what you would do if you were renting from a hardware store or renting a car.
So the renter would have a credit card on file of some sort. If they don't return the equipment, then you can charge that credit card. So you take that type of financial risk out of it?
Yes, and there's actually, you're able to recommend your own security deposit for your own item. So if I'm putting my ladder up and I seek a certain value out of my ladder, I would request a separate security deposit that will be taken initially when you're renting that item.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, John, great job. I love this idea in principle because it's, the idea of monetizing your garage or your shop just makes an awful lot of sense. And in fact, I was just having this conversation with somebody yesterday about why do we all go out and buy these really expensive mowers and use them, like you said, 1% of the time. But I guess my biggest question is similar to Miller's around the operations. Where's the failure points in your operation?
So for us, the biggest concern that the individual has is I want to know about the well-being of my asset. I want to make sure that when I loan it to a stranger, that it will come back properly. And this was a big contingent. And the reason why we don't have a rental platform right now is because of our competitive advantage of timing. Because 5 years ago, you couldn't rent a $400,000 house. People would be afraid to give you that asset. And now that mindset has been changing. So it is our biggest failure point, but thanks to the timing in the market, where never before people have let you stay in their $400,000 house or rent out their $50,000 car, the consumer's mind has been changing. So that's one thing that's been helping that failure point out significantly.
So within the app, are you building in some of the same trust mechanisms or accountability mechanisms where both parties rate each other? And
so a full review system in our app as well, where you can rank the user, the experience, as well as the product.
So, but I guess the logistics of being able to get the power drill or the vacuum cleaner to the renter. How's that? Because earlier in the presentation, I thought I understood that you guys were going to provide that service, but then later in your response to Miller's question, it sounds like you're not. So which one is it?
So in the area of Charlotte where we're launching, we're going to help stimulate. We realize that we need to stimulate this market, so we've acquired our own inventory, and we will be a user on the market, and we'll have the option of people dropping stuff off at our warehouse so that we can spread this. So this idea can get traction, because we realize that's an investment we're going to have to make for this to grow. But in the future, as we grow, we're going to see more and more contractors who have their own trailer hitches, that they're moving their lawnmower, volunteer for delivery. And then you can scroll through the app and say, I need this delivered here. You can only search items that will be delivered. And when you contact that, they'll verify it and they'll be able to deliver it.
So is really your target consumer in this, your target market, is this really more contractors, and is it more B2B play, or focusing on those contractors versus the individual, which is a much larger market that has a garage full of tools?
Absolutely. Our target market for a user to get a tool is the individual consumer. However, we realize in that partner strategy that some of the first people who are going to be able to provide us with products are local businesses and contractors that have their equipment sitting idle that they've already made an investment in.
A couple of questions. One is that is really about your competition and protection of your brand and so on. For competition, it seems to me one thing that's key to your success is the rapidity of the turnaround time. A person decides, here's what I want to do today or tomorrow, why don't I go down to Home Depot or to Lowe's and rent there or buy there?
It's really difficult to put a 12-foot ladder into a family sedan, and I cannot convince my wife to let me put a dirty lawnmower into her BMW. And that's one of the competitive strategies we have. With this delivery feature, a lot of people don't want to go out or leave their project or put something in their car. So that's how we compare to Home Depot. Additionally, most people that want to list their item, they already have the sunk cost in the item. They've already bought it for whatever use they want to. So they don't have to offer the high rental rates of $75 for a pressure washer for 5 hours like Home Depot.
Okay, well, that leads me to who delivers and who pays for the delivery.
So again, the consumers, our users, are able to deliver. Initially, Exchange Post ourselves, we will be delivering to stimulate the marketplace. But the intention is that in the next few years, that all of our deliveries will be conducted by users delivering their own equipment to other people during our scheduling platform, which I did not mention. We have an item availability calendar that makes this easy for somebody to schedule their deliveries as well as pickups.
And so you're really starting out with a particular geographic area in hopes of expanding to a larger geographic area.
Well, we're starting off in a small geographic area because that's where our power is right now, because we're self-funded and we realize we have to make our money count so that we can start generating revenue. As soon as we're able to raise the right amount of capital, we plan to quickly capitalize on market share, because we realize that this is an opportunity that somebody will capitalize on. And being a Navy officer, I don't like to let the enemy capitalize before I do.
Okay, and that's what you plan to spend your $3 million on?
Sure, absolutely.
All right, you say you're trying to raise $3 million. How are you setting your pre-money valuation on this?
Our pre-money valuation $3 million would give us a 20% share for our investors.
So with the your proof of concept that you're launching into right now in Charlotte, you're going to be your model is going to be a little bit different, where you guys own all the assets. You have a centralized warehouse.
A portion of the assets.
Portion of the assets. Talk to me about what kind of traction that you've had so far. Have you been testing this? Have you been doing customer interviews? What have you learned?
Last week we launched a collection for new beta testers, and within 2 hours we had 45 people volunteer to be beta testers. We also released a video with this idea, and again within 24 hours we had over 1,000 views in the Charlotte area.
I'm just wondering, who in the room owns tools? I do. I got lots of them. Who would be interested in this model? I would. Who would be interested in renting tools? Okay, well, that's pretty compelling. I think your biggest issue is going to be trying to figure out the logistics on this. I mean, this is going to happen. There's no question that this. I think you're right with identifying the trends. It's going in this direction. The trust economy is there when it comes to large assets and sharing houses and cars and that sort of thing. So I think you're in a race to try to figure out how to get the logistics down. I wouldn't be too eager to get outside of to try to expand into multiple markets at first. I would be very strategic. You've got Charlotte's a big enough market. I would really prove that out there, and then be very strategic about the next markets that I moved into. I wouldn't try to spread my resources too much there.
Good advice.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.